Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a Luka Doncic build for you. So make sure he's a small forward and we'll move on to the body settings. So I think he's listed at 6'7" in real life, but for this build I've put it at 6'8". I just found it had a better balance of stats. In terms of the weight, just put that up to 195 pounds. I just felt that going to the minimum didn't result in the best attributes for the build to best represent Luka. So 195 is the weight I recommend. And then for wingspan, I recommend putting it to 7-foot wingspan. That just gives a good balance of finishing, as well as keeping the shooting and playmaking really high. Body shape, I just thought solid. For Luka, you know, he's not ripped, but he's pretty strong. So solid's probably the most realistic. And we'll move on to the attributes. So for close shot, I recommend putting it to 80. Now obviously he does a lot of step throughs like Kobe used to do. You know, he pump fake, get a guy in the air and then step through and finish at the rim. Luka does that quite well as well. So 80 close shot will help with that if you do know how to do it. It's a little tricky on 2K, but if you are good at that, it can be a great way to score. In terms of layup, I recommend putting that to 89. That's his primary mode of driving, how he's going to score. He's not going to dunk through anyone, although he has posterized players in the past. Generally, he's going to score on layups and be really tricky with how he finishes at the rim. A bit like Kyrie Irving, but probably not as flamboyant as Kyrie. But I reckon 89 is the sweet spot because you do get the gold finishing badges, you know, gold acrobat, gold fearless finisher, and gold suitori as the gold layup badges. So 89 is what I recommend. In terms of driving dunk, he is 6'7" or 6'8" in this instance. So you do need some driving dunk. He can dunk. You know, he's dunked on or beside people before. So 75 driving dunk just unlocks all the animations in the animation store. So it is probably the sweet spot if you're not going to get contact dunks. In terms of standing dunk, we just want to pop that to 61. You are 6'8" with this build, so you do need a bit of standing dunk. Because, you know, on fast breaks you can get a late pass and you can get caught under the ring. You don't want to be doing a layup, you want to be trying to dunk it as quickly as possible. And at 61, it just gives you the extra badge point. So that's the sweet spot here. In terms of post control, he does post up a bit. Because he's not insanely athletic like other players, he has to rely on skill, so posting up is definitely something he goes to. So I put it to 76 to unlock gold back down punisher and a few other gold badges, you know, drop stepper, Dream Shakes Hall of Fame, if you like that, if you play a lot of career. And then just, you know, other stuff like hook specialist is gold because of the close, silver because of the close shot. So yeah, 76 post control is the best that I have found for the build. So that's 22 finishing badges off the bat. In terms of shooting, now this could honestly be a lot higher. He's a really good shooter. He does jack them up. He can be a bit streaky. You know, he can miss quite a few in a row, which holds his percentages back. But in clutch time, we all know he's as clutch as they come. So I put mid-range to 87 and 3-point shot to the max, which is 84. That just unlocks gold catch and shoot at 84.3, which, you know, as we can see, you know, all the badges except for probably Deadeye are gold. You know, I'm not sure how many people use blind as much anymore, but the rest of them are gold or Hall of Fame. So I think 84 is probably the minimum requirement if you want to be able to shoot. Just pick the game up and just shoot really well. In terms of free throw, I'm not sure exactly what his free throw is, but you know, a lot of the European players shoot really well. They've got really great mechanics. So I put free throw to 81. That's just what I had left. And I think having it that high best reflects Luka. In terms of playmaking, this is arguably one of his absolute strengths and why he's such a superstar, is that he averages about 8.7 assists per game. I think this season it's over 8 for his career, or it's 8. It might be 7.9, I'm not terribly sure, but it's extremely high. It's point guard like assist numbers. And he generally plays as he's a point forward, but he's listed as a small forward. It's at 90, it just unlocks the gold dimer as well, by the way, so we don't want to drop it below 90. 90 is where we want it, because it does unlock all these badges gold. In terms of ball handle, we just want to pop that to 81, which is the max. So that just unlocks Space Creator Gold. I thought that was important for the build because obviously he's really good at his step back threes. So I think having that gold best represents Luka. And he's got a lot of other stuff gold as well. You know, you get tight handles gold, handles for days is silver, which you may or may not love about the build, but at silver I still think at small forward you're not going to be dribbling a heap. That should be enough for you. In terms of speed with ball, you know, he's not terribly quick, but I found that dropping it to 73, which is one below the max, was the best. If you drop it any further, you do lose a badge, and you do drop downhill down from Hall of Fame to gold. So 73 is the sweet spot. But that's playmaking. Onto defense. Now, he's not an insane defender. You know, he's not making any all NBA defensive teams. But I just felt on the game you do need to have some level of defense to enjoy the game. So I put perimeter defense to 79. That just unlocks Pick Dodger Gold. That's quite an important badge. And Steal 78. So you get Interceptor Gold. You've got Pickpocket Silver. He doesn't average a heap of steals. I think it's about 1.1 for his career, or close to. So he's not getting in the passing lanes or stripping people a lot. So I don't think it needs to be too high. In terms of block, we just want to put that up to 77. So he averages less than a block for his career, but at 77 you do get the extra badge point. So I'd put that there. In terms of rebounding, we want to put offensive rebound to 51 and defensive rebound to 81. Now at 81, you do unlock Rebound Chaser Silver. Now he's averaging over 9, I think, this season for rebounds. So you do need to be able to rebound with this build. Having Rebound Chaser Silver, you will be able to snag boards over centers with this build. Because of the wingspan, the vertical later. I've got a build similar to this that's got the same vert, a little bit higher rebound, but I do snag over centers. So you will be able to rebound a lot if you choose to. But that's defense. Onto physicals. We want to put speed and acceleration to 77. So it's a couple, you drop speed a couple for extra points, but 77, you know, he's not terribly quick. He's not, you know, like Usain Bolt or Ja Morant or Darren Fox or something like that. So we don't need to put speed too high to make Luka. I think for a small forward, that's pretty good as well at 6'8". In terms of vert, we just want to put vert to 75. That will just help unlock the dunk animations and things. And at 75, you will be able to match centers for boards. You know, at your peak, if you do time it well, at your peak, if you've got position, you will be able to snag boards over centers. So 75 vert is really important. In terms of stamina, we just want to put the rest on stamina. So in total, we have 22 finishing, 28 shooting, 26 playmaking, 18 defensive badges, for a total of 94 badges. So there's a lot of badges to upgrade with this build. You know, it's a small forward, so you can do a bit of everything with this build. You can defend, you can play make, you can shoot, you can finish at the rim. You know, you're not terribly slow, so I think it's a really balanced build, which is what Luka is. He's a really balanced player with some insane strengths. So we'll move on to the takeovers. I just put ankle breaking shots because it just increases the likelihood of making step back and spin jumpers. I think that's what he does a lot. He also gets mismatches and drops defenders a lot. Not drops them, but breaks their ankles. So I think that's ankle breaking shots is important. And then limitless range. We all know he can just pull up from 3 whenever he wants and wherever he wants. And you know, he's quite good, particularly in the clutch, at doing that. So those were the 2 I chose. And as we can see, he made a facilitating 3-level 2-way. Shades of Brandon Ingram, Latrell Sprewell, and DeMar DeRozan. So they're interesting comparisons. I think all of them share a bit of Luka. But yeah, I think this is definitely the best Luka build I could create. So we'll take a look at the badges. So for finishing, I think for finishing, because he does post up, you do want some post stuff like back down punisher, hook specialist. You know, you might want drop stepper. You know, grace under pressure is pretty handy if you do the step through. So you might want something like that. Fast twitch. Mouse in the house if you do get switched on a small guard that's playing small forward. And then the rest, Fearless Finishes, obviously a great badge. Unstrippable, Slithery Finisher. And the last one you might just want Posterizer. You might want to flick some things around. If you don't post up, put it on Limitless Takeoff. There's a lot to play with. You got 22, so you should be able to find something that works for you, that you do a lot. But that's sort of an all-round Luca type badge setup. Onto shooting. Just the core badges are the ones you want. So Catch and Shoot, Deadeye, Sniper, Hot Zone Hunter. And then the rest is up to you. Limitless Spot Up's great to have. Corner Specialist, just to make sure you're never missing the corners. Volume Shooter is handy if you can get it to silver or gold. That can be really good, if you're someone that takes a lot of shots. Green Machine, Lucky 7's really great. And then the last one, Clutch Shooter, he's just a really clutch player, so that can be something that comes into effect late in games. So that would be the layout I would go for Luca. In terms of playmaking as well, so Bullet Passer, he's a floor general out there. Quick first step, hyperdrive, tight handles. He's not terribly quick out of the triple threat. He generally uses actual footwork rather than speed. So that's probably something we don't need. Space Creator's probably the one. That should be gold if you're really making a Luca-like build. Needle Threader, Dimer as well, probably be gold. And then, for other thing, downhill, you might want to put some on Handles for Days, Unpluckable, Break Starter, Outlet Passes, but those would be the badges I would look at. And in terms of defense, we just want the core ones just to help defend on the games. Menace, Pickpocket, Tireless Defender Bronze is really good. Pogo Stick might be handy because you might be playing power forward, so that could be good to have. Interceptor, Clamps. Box Out to help on rebounds. Intimidator, Pick Dodger, Rebound Chaser. They're all great to have. Rim Protector might be good too because you may play power forward. But that would be the badges I would go with. All in all, that's the build. I hope you've enjoyed the video and I hope you have a really great day.